Hello. Welcome back. Today, I'm pretty sure we're on episode 24, I think, of Things DIORPIUM wants you to hear. I'm going to throw the predictions in this one, just quick Seattle predictions. This might be the latest predictions on YouTube, but it is what it is. We're just going to get it out of the way. Main card. We're going to start. We're just going to talk about the quick fights that I actually care about. This card is actually pretty decent lineup-wise. But first one, Izzy versus Joe Pyfer. Quick predictions. Does Joe Pyfer sleep Izzy just like how Imavov did up against the fence? Or does Izzy outstrike him for, 5 rounds into a decision or find the finish? I'm going to go Izzy here. I'm going to go Izzy outstriking. And, I'm not trying to rip straight, guru shit straight up, but he made a good point. He was talking about how the Jack Hermanson fight. And I assume y'all watch that shit, so you already know how he was talking about it. But he brings up a good point, man. How is Jack Hermanson going to outstrike you for 3 rounds? And then you think that Adesanya is not gonna for 5, or at least find the finish within 25 minutes. So I'm going to Adesanya. That makes the most sense to me. Co-main event, we got Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber, the rematch nobody wanted. People are going with Macy Barber, just giving that the UFC probably wants some like fresh competition for top of the line straw weights or whatever, or flyweights or whatever. And Alexa Grasso has obviously been up at the top for the last fucking 5 years. They need someone new in there, but I'm actually going to go Alexa Grasso here. I think I'm just going to take her by smudge. And then, in the first fight, all Macy did was shadow box her range. We all know this. This isn't news or anything, but I'm still going to go Alexa Grasso here. Macy Barber is good, but, this is women's flyweight. Let's be real here. Next one, we got the Michael Chiesa retirement fight versus Nico Price. Bro, what are we doing? Why is this a featured fight on UFC Seattle? Because he's going to retire? And, everyone knows, he was the only reason he's getting all this glaze from the UFC is because of the Dolly situation with McGregor back when they fought Khabib in the buildup of all that. But, it's just crazy. Nico Price as a retirement fight, that's straight up like a layup. They're literally just giving him a layup. He's about to dunk on him. Yeah, I'm going to go Michael Chiesa finding the finish on. Actually, nah. I think this fight's going to go to a fucking decision where they're just gassed out. I think that this is going to be a very underwhelming fight. Or it's Michael Chiesa finds a finish, considering, he's fighting Nico Price. But I'm just going to say Michael Chiesa by decision. That's what makes the most sense to me. Somewhat of a decent fight. Maybe his eyes a little swollen, barely no damage. They're huffing and puffing at the end of the fight, basically. But next one, we got Julian Erosa versus Larian Douglas. Don't care. Next one, Mansour Abdul Malik versus Yusri Belgori. And obviously knows, or if you don't know, now you know what I'm saying, Dana White type shit. Belgorui actually has history with, I'm pretty sure, Adesanya and Pereira, if I'm not mistaken, or just Pereira in kickboxing. So his striking is crazy. And I think about the Bakoev fight, bro. I literally love Azamat Bakoev. He's just a vibe. His whole, his vibe is chill. He's a really funny dude. And I really thought he was gonna do Belgorui, but nah. So just seeing how Belgorui dealt with Azamat Bakoev, I think he's gonna go to a decision. I think he might honestly be Mansour Abdul Malik. Given the Cody Brundage fight too, it was way too close, and that was Cody Brundage making that giving you that much of a problem. So I think this guy's gonna, I don't think he's gonna slime him out, but I think he'll definitely just outstrike him with his kickboxing. Simple as that. I think Abdul Malik might try to grapple a little bit, but I mean I can actually see him actually getting some good grappling, and considering that Belgarui's tall as fuck and can wrap them legs up or whatever. But I think I'm gonna go Belgarui by decision based off just striking and all that shit. Then we got basically the people, true, if you're a real fan, you know what I'm saying? This is the true main event, Terrence McKinney versus Kyle Nelson. You got to go Terrence McKinney first round. And I think he's going to drop him, rock him, sub. Simple as that. Easy money for McKinney in UFC Seattle here. We got a couple good prelim fights too. Ricky Simon versus Adrian Yanez, which should be on the main card, over Michael Chiesa and Nico Price. That's crazy that it's not, but I'm going to go Ricky Simon here. I think they're pretty band for band with the striking. I think Ricky Simon might have the slightly better striking, but he also has the way better grappling. So I think the grappling is going to make the difference, and then he'll probably smudge him into a decision, kind of similar to the Cameron Smotherman, Cameron Smotherman versus Ricky Simon fight, something along the lines of that. Next one, Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. I'm gonna go Navajo Sterling by decision here. I don't think he's gonna drop Bruno Lopez or like rock him, but I could see him like landing the better shots given the height difference, reach, and he's really quick with it on the feet, especially for a light heavyweight. He's really good at moving in and out and establishing his straight shots down the pipe, which I think will add up and maybe even make Bruno's nose bleed a little bit, get a little bit of damage, and maybe that'll be the kind of like a clear decision. So yeah, I'm gonna go Navajo Sterling by decision. And I guess Tyrell Fortune versus Marcin Tybura. I don't know, man. I don't know much about Tyrell Fortune, really. Like, call me a casual, whatever you want. But this is going to be my first, like, look at him go or whatever. But I'm going to go Marcin Tybura, just, like, vetting it. Like, if this is Tyrell Fortune's UFC debut, maybe Marcin Tybura could just be, like, that level above. You know what I mean? Like, stops the takedowns. If anything, stops it with a scramble, ends up in a better position, finds a sub. Like, I literally could see that. But, like I said, I don't know much about Tyrell Fortune, so I'm not trying to completely count him out. But Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson. We're gonna go Chase Hooper by decision or somehow actually finding the submission. Actually, I'm gonna go submission. I think he's gonna have good. He's gonna have a good time on the ground here. We all said what he did to Jim Miller, bro. Put him in like a triple calf slicer, bro. Like it just doesn't even make sense to actually look like my gi belt. You know, when you tie that shit. Anyway, next one. Obviously going with Chase Hooper. Sorry. Next one. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Tofik Musayev. I'm gonna go Bahamondes. I got to. Chile. Stand up, man. I don't really got a breakdown for this one. I think the strike is just gonna make the difference. I don't really remember Musayev's last fight. I knew it was in Azerbaijan, but I forgot who it was against. But I don't think it was like crazy enough of a performance to where like I'm like, oh, I remember this fight. It was a crazy scrap. So I'm just gonna trust my gut and go with Bahamondes here. Fuck with Ignacio. I think the size difference will probably make the difference here. All right, those are my quick predictions. Let's get into the real fucking spiel, man. Number 2, or 1. We're just gonna say number 1. Ronald Humphrey got the fucking first round KO at CCFC, man. This was a couple weeks ago, so I haven't made it. Things DIORPIUM wants you to hear. Been busy, I train, I work, I have videos to make. I did have a lot of things that I wanted to talk about today, but I kind of thinned out the herd and gave you the best of the best. But yeah, bro, it was so crazy. I'm not gonna show you any footage or whatever, but Ron is one of the craziest dudes from our gym, and I was really talking to him when I seen him the week after his fight. I was talking about how there's this one. First of all, his body kicks were fucking crazy and insane. Like off the first body kick, first of all, I guarantee you heard that shit in the nosebleeds if you're in the arena. I don't know if they had like those tickets sold or whatever, but if you did, that shit probably would have fucking echoed through the whole building. And then the boxing was good. He hit him with a good overhand that kind of rocked him up against the fence. I forgot what dude's name was. Sorry, but he like walked against the fence. Ronald's kind of taking a couple seconds, reading him. Boom, kind of comes with like a overhook or a underhook, if that makes sense. Like a kind of from that kind of an angle, drops up against the fence. 1, 2 minute, like 40 something. TKO, KO. In my opinion, it's a KO, but it was pretty crazy too. But what I was saying when I seen him at the gym or whatever, obviously, dap him up, congratulate him on his win or whatever. But there's this one fucking kick that was basically to the head, but he was like a little far or whatever. If he was like, maybe took another step or something, whatever, he would have hit him in the head for real or like broke dude's fucking hand. But since he was a little far or whatever, he like kicked dude's hand and dude's hand went flying behind his back. And I promise you, bro, that he had to have broken his wrist or fractured it or done something. Like if you see the kick, if you ever watched that fight, bro, if you ever do your research on Ronald Humphrey, if you don't know now, you know. He's one of the next upcoming contenders in the next 5 years. Trust, 170. We're going to have a serious fucking problem, man. But, yeah, man, that fight was really good. Congratulations to Ron. Really putting on for the gym, and you love to fucking see it, man. Next one, we got Edgar Chairez versus Bruno Silva in the Meta Apex. And if I'm not mistaken, it is a main event. I don't know, though. But, it's good, man. Both these guys just fought real recently. Like, Edgar Chairez just fought like a couple weeks ago. Bruno Silva fought like last week or 2 weeks ago against Charles Johnson. Like, it's nice to see activity between both of these guys trying to, just follow the momentum. Bruno Silva coming off of some people say a controversial loss, robbery, whatever, against Charles Johnson. I say otherwise. There is an argument for a 30-27, but it is what it is. And then Edgar Chairez, too, coming off a win. So, this is a pretty good scrap in the flyweight division. I love Edgar Chairez, so I'm obviously going to go with him. But Bruno Silva is the problem, and this is going to be a really close fight. So this is actually pretty decent matchmaking here. Next one, number 3. They're saying Robert Whittaker has a 205 debut opponent. Rumors are it's Ankalaev or Khalil Roundtree, bro. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Whitaker moving up. Listen, I'm not hating. He's a big fucking man. But the power of Khalil. I could see Khalil wobbling him like when Paulo Costa kind of like hit him with that spinning wheel kick and, he chicken leg danced or whatever. Could definitely see him doing that to him, like doing that just off of one of his fucking the craziest hooks in the UFC. Fucking bah, bah. But or Ankalaev, that'd be a pretty good tit for tat battle. I actually prefer that matchup considering the ranking Ankalaev has, and it'd just be a good fight for Robert considering everything. And this is his 205 debut or whatever. So very excited for that matchup. That could be really good, and I hope that it's Ankalaev because I think that's a better. Like obviously him versus Khalil Rountree would be way more entertaining. Just like the fucking bite, just the bite down to Khalil versus like the fight IQ and kind of like the quickness and elusiveness of Robert Whitaker. That'd be a great matchup. But I do personally think Ankalaev just for like the ranking spot for Robert Whitaker because why do we not want Robert Whitaker in the top 5 of fucking light heavyweight off of a debut? And I don't even know who beats Ankalaev, but we'll get there whenever it gets announced or whatever. Next one. Another fight. Bruno Ferreira versus Ikram Aliskerov in Azerbaijan. Bro, the Azerbaijan card last year was so fucking sick. And the venue itself looks so fucking sick. It was like 3 times larger than any arena we have in the United States. And you just, if you go back and rewatch the Azerbaijan card, look at the cameras, you see just like a dead ass all around the ring, or the cage or whatever. An ocean full of people all the way up into the nosebleeds and anything. Like, when I tell you it looks fucking sick, man, it's fucking sick. And I didn't even know much about Azerbaijan, but the buildings there, beautiful. The whole vibes of Azerbaijan just seem nice. I'm glad that they're going back again, putting on like this little small country that actually has like a good amount of fighters from Azerbaijan. Like I'm pretty sure Fiziev's from there, and Tali, whatever the guy I was talking about that's fighting this weekend's from there too. But could be wrong. But let's get to the fucking fight, man. Bruno Ferreira versus Ikram. I'm gonna go Bruno Ferreira. Ikram's really good, you know what I'm saying? But I think if he can knock out RoboCop with a jab, he's going to do dirty things to Ikram Aliskerov, who's probably not even going to initiate like the grappling for real. So if I was him, I wouldn't want to stand with Bruno Ferreira considering the power behind it. But you just kind of take him into deep waters a little bit, which I think Ikram is good enough to do to Bruno. He could really counter him and work off that for Bruno. But that power, man, he's slugging. So it's a little scary, but it is a good matchup. Next one, another matchup, which is crazy, but not at the same time, I guess. But Brendan Allen versus Edmund Shabazian. I get it, man. Edmund's really good. He should be at the top of 185, but obviously you got the injury from Khalil Rountree that set him back pretty far. And he is actually really good competition, but this is his time to like prove to himself that he is willing to stand at the top rankings of 185. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that fight with Khalil was at 205 and he moved down. I'm not tripping if I'm not wrong, but who knows? Yeah, I'm gonna go Brendan Allen though, based off Smudge, the grappling, and everything. I'm not too familiar with Edmund Shabazian. Like I haven't watched too many of his fights or whatever. He has been out, you know what I'm saying? But he is a demon. But I'm still gonna go Brendan Allen. I'm so mad that it's not DDP. That's the whole point of this. Like, who is DDP gonna fight now, bro? Like, is he injured? Is he taking more time off? Like, is he not worried about it? First of all, the Brandon Allen DDP fight is so, like, how do you say? Promotable, bro. Like, they have beef. Like, they've been talking shit for years now. Like, how do you not make that fight considering DDP has to defend himself? I guess defend his number 1 spot or whatever, number 2 spot, wherever he is compared to Sean Strickland. And, dude, against Brendan Allen would be perfect. Brendan Allen just beat RDR, actually, like, proves to the 185 division that he belongs in that area or whatever, but it is what it is. You know, Brendan Allen's not complaining. He said anyone, anywhere, anytime. So you can't really hit that mentality. So shout out Brendan Allen for being a dog, man. He definitely deserves to fight up. But it is what it is. We'll go on to the next one. Bro, I was watching the Overdogs podcast, and Felipe Lin said he is the winner. Or the winner of him and Ngannou will face Jake Paul in Jake Paul's MMA debut, bro. So basically all we get from this is Ngannou versus Jake Paul is actually going to happen this year or next year for MVP, bro. What the fuck is going on, bro? Like, Jake Paul is crazy. Like, how... Listen, and I believe this will actually happen, too, considering he fought Anthony Joshua, bro. And broke his jaw in 2 different places and literally just is thugging it out. So him fighting Ngannou's going to do dirty things to him, bro. At heavyweight, bro, Jake Paul should be cutting down to 85 or 70. He is a big guy, but he could really do it. But With all the muscle on him, I bet he'd be a good like 185er. That itself would probably be a decent cut too for him. But him at heavyweight fighting Ngannou is like, I guess, anything for the bag, bro. All the work you've done in boxing, all the promoting you've done, all the promotion you've done for yourself, the build up for yourself, all lead to this point right here. Or does it get crazier for Jake Paul? Like who else could he fight as a heavyweight that's crazier than Ngannou that's not in the UFC? Like, so that'd be really crazy. No way Felipe Lins beats Ngannou, but that's gonna be fucking crazy. Like, we all are watching Jake Paul versus Ngannou. And like I said, Ngannou's gonna do dirty things to him, bro. But yeah, that's fucking crazy. Next one, another Azerbaijan fight that got announced: Shara Bullet versus Michael Pereira. And I'm surprised this fight hasn't already happened. I feel like it has. I don't know though. I could be wrong. I don't think it's happened. Still going to be a good fight nonetheless. I am going to go with Shara Bullet, probably winning by decision here. Literally has better striking than Michael Pereira. Michael Pereira is going to gas himself out by backflipping off the cage 8 times in a row while spinning back fisting at the same time, trying to hit Shara Bullet. But Shara Bullet's striking, obviously. There's going to be no grappling here unless it's Michael Pereira is the one that tries to like make it happen. But I do not see him doing that because he knows one takedown, he is gassing out in the first round. So it's definitely going to be a striking matchup, and I think that favors, Shara Bullet. So it's going to be nice to see the Pirate back in action. The most infamous gay hater of all time, or a public, kissing hater of all time. You know what I'm saying? No, we're different cultures, man. No hate, man. It is what it is, man. But yeah, that's gonna be a good fight, decent scrap. Probably gonna go to a decision, but I'm gonna go Shara Bullet by unanimous decision. Next one, Manel Kape versus Kyoji is an Apex main event, which is actually kind of disgusting. Like, they had this first crazy fight in Ryzen. I don't know if you know about that, but if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a good fucking scrap. I'm pretty sure Kyoji won, if I'm not mistaken. But the fact that this is an Apex main event is so bad, bro. Like, how are you not gonna put this in front of a crowd? How are you not going to put this in Azerbaijan? Like what is really going here? Like, this could be a great co-main event for an Azerbaijan fight night. Or, like, just wait until y'all go to Japan or wherever the fuck Kyoji's from. Yeah, why not go to Japan with this, bro? Copy and paste Rising, bro. Like, that would sell. Like, imagine you get Tatsuro Taira versus Kaya Sakura after Taira, if Taira loses to fucking... Actually, wait, I think, is Taira? Not Taira. If I'm not mistaken, Kai Sakura might be moving up to bantamweight, but that could be false information. I'm not sure. But anyway, let me just stop trying to matchmake, bro. This is so disrespectful to both of these legends, bro. This is basically like a whoever wins this fight gets a fight for the belt next after Pantoja or whatever. But I guess it is what it is. But it's still gonna be a good fight nonetheless. I'm actually gonna take Kyoji again in the rematch. It's gonna be a good scrap, bro. This is definitely one to watch. If you don't watch the Apex cards, you're definitely missing out. Do not miss this one. I'm going to go Kyoji. They already spent probably, 25 minutes before. I don't know the rising rounds in MMA, but they already know each other, felt each other out. Manel Kape's over here getting finishes, and Kyoji's over here being dominant as fuck against Amir Albazi. So it's going to be a close one. I could see this going to like a split decision, like dramatic decision. Like, someone feels like they got robbed or both dudes feel like they won. But it's going to be a really good scrap. Like I said, I got Kyoji. Next one. DBX is official for Washington, D.C. And if you... listen to my channel regularly or whatever, I talked about in a couple episodes ago how DBX, I was watching a video and one of the owners of DBX was saying that they want to have basically like a White House DBX fight, but obviously not in the White House. I mean, that'd be crazy, but it's probably not going to happen. Like, the UFC already doing that, but kind of like a DBX Washington, D.C. event or whatever. And which I think would be good, dude. Do it on the Friday before the UFC White House. You're going to have hella people in town already, so you might as well do that shit. And John Jones is going to be there. So imagine that meet and greet in D.C., bro, if he was supposed to fight in the White House card or whatever. But it's just weird. I guess this isn't too bad of an idea. Just like, you're following the UFC's motion. Like, it's definitely a good idea to start out as a business with DBX because you already have, like, people there that would be willing to do it. Because DBX is actually sick, man. But it's also, like, eventually you have to kind of, like, branch off and go to your own places. Like, they are going to Miami now, which is, like, right before UFC Miami. Which I don't know, man. I'm not hating, but I just want to see them kind of do their own thing, but I understand as a young business, you kind of got to follow the momentum of the big leagues until you kind of set yourself in stone, if that makes sense. I only have 92 subscribers. I don't know a jack about business, so it is what it is. But yeah, DBX is officially in Washington, D.C., so expect that card to be announced for DBX 7 or 8 at Washington, D.C. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then 10. I just want to kind of talk about some ideas I have for the channel, bro. Like, I keep on wanting to interview people that I actually like care about or have real questions. Like, I don't want to interview people that I just want, like, people are like, yo, interview this DBX or whatever. Like, for example, Rob Perez was fucking with me, bro. He was trying to get me connects with Dustin Bailey to interview Dustin Bailey. And I was down. I have a bunch of questions for him, and I had texted him, like, yo, you down for this, blah, blah, blah. Let me know when you're available. He said, bet, bro. He basically said he was down or whatever, but they never, like, followed up. So I'm not even really tripping on that. Like, I really don't even take that personally. Like, he's literally a fighter in camp. Busy, man. I don't know if he got kids or whatever he's doing. He's a dad, maybe. But like I said, no problem with that at all. But I think it's good that way because I had no true intention of actually wanting to interview Dustin Bailey because I have no interest in, like, true interest. Like I have true interest for Rob Perez or, like, Michael Garcia. Or, like, there like a couple people I've also wanted to interview that I haven't really reached out to yet or whatever is Block, bro. Block, just his whole vibe, like his whole demeanor, everything really is inspiring. And, not too many people know anything about him. And I would love to get familiar with Block, bro. Not even just Block, but like other people too that aren't even DBXers, like Dust Mite, bro. Like, I'd love to chop it up with Dust Mite for a little interview podcast type deal. Or there's like this girl on Instagram called High Elf Club, who makes like UFC art. Like that'd be pretty cool. She seems pretty sophisticated, knows her shit about like MMA and stuff. So we could chop it up for a good interview. But those are just ideas. I haven't really like texted anyone crazy or whatever. But I did text Jeff, Craig, Montavious Ware, Diego Zuniga, and like I said, just texted Block, but no one's responded yet, man. But it is what it is. I'm glad I got Michael Garcia and Rob Perez because I actually care about them and like I'm actually a fan in it. I'm genuinely intrigued by them, so that gives for good raw, natural content instead of me trying to just like force an interview or a little podcast with someone that I'm not even familiar with or I'm not even intrigued by. So I'm glad everything's panning out the way it is. But not even just that, bro. I'm about to make a DIORPIUM soundtrack, y'all. And it's gonna be DIORPIUM Volume 1. And then I'm gonna have a bunch of beats or whatever. It is gonna be produced 100% by Dust Mite. It's gonna basically be like a beat tape, but more of like in a soundtrack vibe. So I'm gonna have a bunch of tracks, or whatever. I don't know how many numbers yet. I'm still figuring everything out, getting a good sound for it and everything. But I'm gonna walk out to each song at a time. And so, you better be there to experience that one song, or you will never experience it again. And the production is so crazy, bro. And just like it has a certain vibe to it. And also that soundtrack is all my outros. So if you hear any of the beats on my outros and you're like, damn, that shit's actually tough, just give me a second, man. I'm putting together a little Dust Mite, DIORPIUM soundtrack beat tape, man. Just give me a second, bro. It's just about to be tough. But I got so many more ideas, man. Besides just interviews and predictions and things DIORPIUM wants you to hear. Like, I got a good couple, normal shows going or whatever. But, yeah. Imagine me trying to build my channel as like an actual TV channel, you know what I'm saying? That has like different shows, but it's all me. So if I can do it, that shows you how hard that shit really isn't, bro. Because this shit right here is not too hard to sit here and edit and record all this shit, and I have fun doing it. So if I can enjoy that shit, make myself, promotable, like myself, get my worth up to where I'm like worth more money if I'm fighting, like blah blah blah. So y'all understand what I'm doing here? I'm doing YouTube to promote myself and to launch myself further in my fighting career to get good opportunities. So, yeah, fuck with me, man. And I guess last thing off this, too, is, bro, I was talking to Rob, bro. And he fucks with me, bro. Me and Rob are like this. Me and Rob are like this, bro. Don't get shit twisted. And he said that whenever DBX comes to Atlanta, bro, he'll try to help you get a media pass so I can actually go to, the DBX media and actually ask the good questions, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but most of the media is just like, they're pretty dry questions, bro. And I feel like I actually could have good questions for fighters that I'm actually intrigued for. Like, some shit that actually just like would make him think and is just like out of the box. Because I feel like I watch like Boxing Bureau and all like these DBX media videos and like they're asking good questions, you know what I'm saying? But like they're only getting asked like 5-6 questions, if even that. Like they should, like these videos are only like 3 to like 7, maybe 10 minutes long. Like these mans need to, like, if we're trying to get like media out of these fighters to make them promotable and get people familiar with them so we can build fan bases for these people in DBX, why not have a good amount of actually intriguing questions about them, not even just about their opponent? But I could definitely bring that to the table. So let's hopefully we can see that soon. That'd be pretty fucking sick. That'd be a crazy opportunity. Maybe I can meet some people, get my networking up. But I think that's not even my main focus. My main focus is genuinely like I care about DBX, and shit is so like entertaining to me, and I just want to make sure and help in any way possible I can to get the word for DBX out there because this shit is cool, but it is a young promotion, and we still just got some work to do until we get this shit done. And no, I'm not associated with DBX in any way. Hopefully one day I can work with them and do that, but Because I just hope that real recognizes real. So I hope they recognize real, man. But that's all I really got for today. Sorry if this video, it wasn't a little quick, but, you know, a nice little 25 minutes, not bad. If y'all enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Wish me luck, you know what I'm saying? Tubbs let me know that they're looking to get me something on May 30th for either Muay Thai or MMA, probably Muay Thai, but he said stay going to jiu-jitsu, man. So obviously I'm on the radar, bro. So wish me luck on that too. Hope I can sign a contract to get back to you guys and let y'all know when I'm in camp and whatnot. But again, thank you guys. You guys have a good day. Take care.